much. In this study, I used the global data retrieved from the World Bank. It consists of 155 countries worldwide, and I use machine learning to do the prediction in terms of GDP per capita to see which variables have the most influence over GDP per capita. As you may see, machine learning is a powerful tool that has been widely used across the globe, because now it is much more easier when we have the assistance of AI. And when we have free software such as the Python and R program, we can analyze large data sets easily. So why don't we choose conventional linear regression instead of machine learning? The reason is that, the process is a bit difficult, and analyzing the data can be misleading as well, because when the data is a lot and we need to do the analysis, it may take a lot of time. And one of the problems that we can see with the conventional linear regression is the multicollinearity. Sometimes predictors are highly correlated with each other, so the dependent variable cannot be easily identified. Okay. And in this case, I use the open source data from the World Bank, taking all the variables that are important for GDP per capita assessment. And the purpose is to show that when we use the machine learning, it is fast and easy, and the result is applicable and replicable. As I mentioned, in the data set retrieved from the World Bank, there are 155 nations that provided the data set regarding their GDP information to the World Bank. And there are many variables just to show that machine learning can be used easily to identify the effects of predictors on GDP per capita. I decided to select only 10 most relevant variables, as you can see, from agricultural share, GDP growth, gross capital formation, education spending, and so on. And the data set that I use for the analysis is from 2010 to 2024. So the data set is about 14 years. To analyze the data, we need to go through a process starting from removing missing data and inconsistency of the data. And after that, I need to check multicollinearity. If the predictors are highly correlated or predictors have high value of variance inflation factor, we need to remove them. The highest value must be higher than 5. The reason is that if we keep those predictors in the model, it may affect the result. We cannot predict the dependent variable easily. And in the analysis, we decided to remove 2 variables out of 10 variables because they had high VIF, or variance inflation factor. And after that, we have only 8 predictor variables, and then we split the data set into 2. One is training set and the other one is testing set. And it is a common practice when we use the training set 80% and the testing set 20%. And after that, we need to go through a process again. We need to train the data from raw data to selecting the best model. I decided to use a few models together, like random forest and linear regression, and so on. And after that, I compare the accuracy level, and which model that has the highest accuracy level, it means that that model is best to predict the GDP per capita. And it is just a summary of the description analysis for the 8 variables, as you may see, because all the countries are analyzed, and then you may see the agricultural share can be from 0 until 40%, representing countries that do not have agricultural activity and countries that depend a lot on agriculture. And you also see the difference between GDP per capita from less than 1,000 US dollars to more than 100,000 US dollars. And this is, you know, the difference between rich and poor countries as well. And I also have the mean values for each variable. And I just want to show you one more about the internet use. You may see some countries have no internet access at all, but some has full access to the internet. And it is one of the best predictor to predict the GDP per capita, to see whether if countries with high access to the internet have higher GDP per capita, or internet access has no effect at all. And then after I ran several models at the same time to see which one is the best. And then I got the multiple linear regression, which is the best model again, but it is under the machine learning process. It's not a conventional linear regression. And if you look at all the 7 variables, excluding GDP per capita, which is considered a dependent variable, you may see agricultural share has no effect on GDP per capita at all. And we also see that life expectancy does not affect GDP per capita. It doesn't mean that countries with high GDP per capita must have a long life expectancy. And then we see 5 variables are influential over GDP per capita, including GDP growth, educational spending, renewable energy investment, and internet access, and so on. And after we identified predictors that influence the GDP per capita, we just try to make prediction. For example, if we increase the education spending by just 1%, you know, we can see the increase per capita of GDP is about 1,000. It's a lot already. But if we look at the human capital index, if we increase it by 1 unit only, you know, GDP per capita is a lot. It is more than 50,000 US dollar. So by, you know, using machine learning, we can identify predictors that are most influential on dependent variables that we want to predict. And then we can use, you know, the value to make prediction. And I just want to reflect back on why agricultural share does not affect GDP per capita. You may see a variation in agricultural practices. Some countries have access to machinery, but some countries still do the work manually. So you may see that it is completely different between rich and poor country. Apart from that, although we invest a lot on agriculture, the money we can make from agriculture per hectare is still not much. In the case, for example, you know, because I'm from Cambodia, in case of Cambodia, we depend a lot on agriculture, but the share from agriculture is not much compared to industry and service. In previous slides, you might see that 5 variables are the most influential on GDP per capita, but we don't know which one is the best one to predict GDP per capita. after that, I ran variable importance plot. It is very important to identify which variable is the most influential by looking at the importance value. If the value of that variables is the highest, it means that it is the most influential. If you want to see which country has the highest GDP per capita, just look at renewable energy investment and development. Any country that invests a lot in renewable energy development and construction, it surely shows that that country is rich. That country can have the highest GDP per capita. And apart from renewable energy investment, we can look at the internet access. Any country with the higher access to the internet, it can mean that that country has the highest GDP per capita as well. And we just go down to life expectancy and agricultural share. They are not important at all. I don't mean agricultural share is not important, but in case we want to predict the value of GDP per capita, agricultural share is not the important variable that we should consider for the prediction. So in conclusion, we can say that if any countries want to, increase their GDP per capita, they should invest more on education, digital connectivity, or human capital, and so on. And apart from that, we need to ensure those countries invest more on internet infrastructure or in the use of renewable energy in the fight of climate change too. In short, I can say machine learning can be quick, effective, and replicable. It may take a little bit long time for us to start doing the modeling, but after we can make the model in an accurate way, we can keep it and send it to anyone that want to do the same thing. They just prepare the data set in the same way and they run the code, the result will be very quick. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone. And if you have any question, just raise your hand and ask, or you can leave your questions in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hin Laihor, for your presentation. May request also our presenters to monitor our chat box to reply to any questions or issues related to their topic. Now let us move to our next presenter, Dr. Anjum Banu Kazimi. She is a renowned PhD scholar and academician